And now we're gonna make grief cake. This is a great cake to take to someone who is grieving, who's lost a loved one. It's also awesome to make for yourself. It's easy and it turns out every time.
Okay, we're gonna make grief cake now. You start with a box of chocolate cake. Any box is fine, any brand, and we're gonna add 4 eggs to that.
The next step is you're gonna take 1 small box of chocolate pudding and add it right in. Then you'll add your oil. And last but not least, 1 cup of sour cream, which really makes it extra luxurious and super moist. In my opinion, if a chocolate cake isn't moist, it's not worth eating. You're gonna, and add your vanilla. Almost forgot that. About a tablespoon, I kind of eyeball it. And then you're gonna whisk this up. Okay, the last step with your cake is you're going to dump in all of these really, really yummy chocolate chips. I prefer dark chocolate, but you could use milk chocolate or white chocolate if you wanted to. You're just gonna fold them in. This cake is very sturdy, so don't worry about deflating anything. Now it's time to grease your pan. I prefer a bundt pan for this particular cake. You could certainly use another pan of any sort. Just watch your time when you're cooking it. What you're gonna wanna do with the bundt pan, this is really important, is use some Crisco or vegetable shortening with a brush or a paper towel, whatever you have available. And you wanna liberally grease this pan so that nothing will stick to it. You're gonna get in every single little crevice. So you're just gonna pour your batter into the bundt pan. Ever so gently. These can be a little bit tricky, but fortunately this batter is pretty thick, so you can stop mid-pour if you need to. Now your cake is ready to be put into the oven. You're gonna bake it at 350 degrees for about 40 minutes. To make the ganache for the chocolate cake top, it's so luxurious, but there are a few tricks. You're gonna wanna start with your chocolate chips, dump in your heavy cream, or half and half. Either one will be just fine. And you're gonna start with this in the microwave for 20 seconds. Pull it out, stir it, put it back in for 20 seconds, pull it out, stir it thoroughly, put it back in for maybe 10 seconds, and stir it until it's glossy and smooth. The ganache is finished. I stir it for about 5 minutes. It's going to look like it's separated, but just keep stirring it. I promise it will come together. And it turns into this really glossy, luxurious chocolate ganache that will eventually harden on top of your cake into a really soft chocolate mixture. So your cake is finished, it's cooled, and I've turned it out onto this platter. You can put it on whatever you like. It's time to add the ganache on top. You're just gonna gently pour it over and it will drip nicely down the sides. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. We finished our ganache, and I just do this slowly. Slowly, slowly, slowly pour it on. It does not need to be perfect. That is the whole point of this. It makes it a little bit more organic and look homemade, which it is. That's the whole point. And the last topping for the chocolate cake is flaked sea salt. You don't need a ton, but just sprinkle it on top of the ganache while it's still not fully dried, and it just adds an extra punch, especially if you use dark chocolate. And it turns out really beautiful.